Hola mi gente, welcome or welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Astrid. You haven't seen me for a little bit, but today we're actually on a field trip to Dallas and I'm super excited to share with you guys. We're currently at the World Trade Center in Dallas, Texas, and so I'm gonna bring you along and we're gonna check out the whole place. But this is so far what we're walking into. Wow, it is huge. Literally so nice. So this is what we're checking out today. We're doing an assignment and we're getting a tour of the entire place. First stop of the day. I don't know what I'm gonna get, but I'm feeling a macchiato. Thank you.
All right. How's it going, guys? Good. So first and foremost, welcome. My name is Amy Harper and I'm Vice President of Retail Development for all of our apparel industries as well as our international business for both apparel and what we call hard goods, which is like gift and home. I've been here for a hot second. I started, it was my third job out of college. I was 25, so that tells you I'm 45 because I've been here 20 years. I did not think I would still be here. I know people say that all the time, I'm like a unicorn. But one of the things that's great about Dallas Market Center is that things are always changing. So my job has evolved over the years into so many different aspects. So it's been really great. I've been in your shoes. I've actually taken this class and a few others that probably don't exist anymore. But I did go to SFA, so that's why you get me as a tour guide and not.
Yay!
Yeah, I know it is. It's cool, awesome. So it's really great. So what we're gonna do today. So is everybody apparel driven, or is this?
Are we mostly apparel, or we have interiors? I'm interiors.
Okay, no, that's good. I just want to know so I can make sure I'm showing you some fun stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of give you a layout of the property that we have. We have 3 buildings that are constantly active, and one of them is called the Interior Home and Design Center. We call it the IHDC, and it is a 2-story building, and that was actually the first building that was built on the property, and it was for furniture. And currently now it hosts like interior designers and decorators on the first floor. I don't know how you all pulled in, but they actually, the showrooms over there actually have doors now that they can actually do business with people off the street, but it's really not off the street. Yeah. The other building that we have besides the World Trade Center is the Trade Mart. And the Trade Mart was the next building that was built. And it was, I'm sure you've, like, if you do any history on Dallas, like with the whole Kennedy assassination, the Trade Mart was the destination where the president was supposed to be giving a speech prior to his assassination. So the whole Trade Mart, we have some really incredible photos, and we'll walk over there just so you can kind of like peek in and see it. And then we have the World Trade Center, and I'll kind of give you a description about what's in the Trade Mart. So in the World Trade Center, you know, it's pretty awesome. You might want to get a video shot of that for sure. We have one that we use quite frequently on our social. So I would say that the apparel floors are 7, 8, and then we have a lot of temp floors, but we go from 12, 13, 14, and 15. And it houses all sorts, so from women's apparel to children's, fashion accessories and jewelry, high price points like diamonds, all the way to inexpensive, what we call fast fashion jewelry and accessories, footwear, swimwear, intimate apparel, maternity, Western, I could keep going. So it's all up there, I know. Overall, retail development is kind of like an amenity to all of these leaseholders. So like I said, we are a property management company. Our goal is to have people lease space, and we host markets. But on top of that, Dallas Market Center is the only family-owned and operated market center in the United States at this point. And our job is to make sure that buyers are coming here. And that is what I do. So I'm not marketing. I'm not in charge of foot traffic. I'm not in charge of every single person that comes through the door. My goal is to work with our tenants to make sure that the right people, what I call the VIPs, are coming to market. So my job is to be like basically knowledgeable on every single industry that I focus on, and then some, as well as the retailers. So my job is to know all the retailers in the United States, which is extremely challenging. And we actually have a whole database that we had created for our department. With that said, it's like my mind's like a Rolodex. You know, there's all different like price points. There's all different store types. If I gave you a whole list, you would be like, oh, okay, I get it. And it's all about, you know, women's price points or moderate, better, bridge, and designer. And we have all of those price points in the building. So I have to have like a top 50 in my head of every single price point for those types of retailers and businesses. In 2008, 2009, when the economic things were a little weird, Texas was thriving. You know, we didn't have unemployment the way other states were being affected. and we had boutiques that were thriving during that time. The bread and butter of this building are specialty stores, privately owned specialty stores. It isn't a department store that keeps this building, like all of these showrooms in business. They like doing business with them, excuse me, but when it's all said and done, it's the boutiques that really like are the strength behind this, and I just love that since we are still family owned and operated, you know. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just take a peek over here because I thought for our interior designer you might want to see the building. Yeah. Just something to think about, like when it comes to January total home and gift market. You know, we're ending the holiday season. Everyone's putting up their Christmas trees or whatever, you know, holiday you celebrate, and we're pulling them back out. So in January of 2022, people will be buying for Christmas all over again and holiday. And you know, I'm just done with it. Like after New Year's, I want that stuff back up. And then when I come into the building, I mean, there are Christmas trees everywhere. So, but you can see all the faux floral, and that is the same. It's just like a racetrack on the second floor as well. And you're gonna find like ornaments. You're gonna see, we have a great company here that actually freeze dries all of their like real flowers, and you'll see the arrangements. Like I'm sure you've seen like the orchids, you know, they're like centerpieces that are, you think they're faux, but some of them are freeze dried. So it's really, yeah, it's a great opportunity. He was pretty innovative. I want you all to realize the job opportunities that are out there right now, because some people, yes, because there's a lot, and some people don't realize in this industry, they think, if I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times, I know Jamie has too. I'm gonna be a buyer. Oh, please. Like just because you have a fashion sense does not mean that you're gonna be a good buyer. It's just the bottom line. You know how you're gonna be a good buyer? Are you good at math? Because that's all you do. It's really not so much about how cute, you know, the shoes are or anything else. Yes, and math has to be your strong point. You're behind a computer running numbers all day long. So there's a big difference in what we think and what we know. Now, if you're opening your own store, you kind of get the best of both worlds. But yes, like just know there are so many great opportunities out there. Okay, so this is the Trade Mart, and they are actually setting up for an event that we have on Thursday.
Oh my gosh, that's so pretty.
So this building, like I said, has been here. I think this was the second one built. Don't hold me to that, but I'm almost positive. And it's been here for quite some time. So the Trade Mart actually has 4 floors, and it caters to gift, home accents, housewares, stationery, paper products, as well as lighting. So the 3rd and 4th floors of the Trade Mart is all our lighting and like lighting brands. So it's all corporate showrooms. We have 2 lighting markets a year. They're in January and June. And Dallas is the home of lighting. So you don't see this type of branded lighting showrooms anywhere else in the United States. So it's really awesome. So like we try to do a lot of different things for buyers, and one of them is the way we label the floors, because like I said, when you are in the building for the first time, it is a lot. And you're like, where do I go? What do I do? Every morning during market at 9 a.m. we offer what we call the scoop, and there's myself, and then I have 3 other counterparts. There's a VP of gift, there's a VP of home, Michael Bauer that y'all met before, and then we have another one, VP of major stores. She deals with all like the private buys, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that too. And so there's like 4 of us, and so we just kind of like trade off. I get stuck doing all of the ones for apparel, so I'm always down there at 9 o'clock doing the scoop. But it's great. If you've never been here before, it's pretty much what you're hearing right now, but just a little bit more in depth on like where to go and what to do during the actual market. We are the only market center in the country that has permanent men's showrooms. So we do have 2 markets a year with men's. And
that's awesome.
It is, it's great. You know, when things change with the economy, men are the first people to stop spending their money on themselves. So the men's buy makes sense why it's twice a year. Like it's always been like that. When I first started working here, they said, here, you're gonna take care of the men's industry. And I was like, I'm not a man. 11th floor, so here's a little bit of like background info about this floor. What year are we in, 2021? So, a little over 5 years ago, we decided that, as a company, Dallas Market Center decided that we were trying to figure out ways to grow our business. We have to think all the time of how do we get more buyers here? How do we get, you know, let's say we've got all this space that's leased, how do we get the buyers here? How do we go after buyers that have never been here before? And, you know, you can think like in one box about, oh, well, we've got 5 women's apparel markets a year. We've got 4 kids markets a year during apparel. Like, how do we get them? Well, let's talk industry. So one of the things that we thought of was the Western industry. And many years ago, in 2003, we made the announcement. We were in a totally different building. So we were in the Apparel Mart. And in 2003, we made the announcement that we were moving everyone from the Apparel Mart over here. And that's when you see the 7th floor and the 8th floor and all the floors from, I guess, 12 and up, where it became apparel. And so we were trying to think, when we were at the Apparel Mart, the 5th floor of the Apparel Mart, a portion of it was dedicated to the Western industry. And we just didn't have enough, like, we didn't have space for someone to have 2 markets a year, because that's how that industry is set up. And so we decided, okay, what do? We really want to go after the Western industry now. Well, in the Western world, for those of you that know anything about it, it's a lifestyle. Yeah. But you know, everybody, I think most of us all own one form of a pair of cowboy boots. Yeah. It is a lifestyle. However, they have a market, and it's called WESA. And it's Western English Sales Association. Actually, it's an association that they turned into a market. And excuse me, sorry. And so WESA had been in Denver. That Denver had a market center. It was struggling. The building itself was quite old and hadn't been maintained well. But they continued to have this twice a year show there. And we went after WESA. And so we met with them. Our executives, like our CEO and COO, decided this is what we're doing. And they really went after it. Like, as far as like different roles within the company, we, like retail development, I was responsible about, you know, hey, these are the retailers that we're focused on. What areas of the United States do the people that attend WESA in Denver, where do they come from? It's all across the United States, but there's a major group. The majority of them were coming from this area of the United States, like Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi. So we had that advantage. We also have a border advantage, okay? The Tejano business is quite large. Latin America is very, very big when it comes to Western and English. So there were all these pluses, and 5 years later, that's how long it took for the negotiations to take place, we convinced the association to move from Denver to Dallas. And guess when that market launched? January of 2021. Right after COVID. And it was not as it was awesome and very exciting, but it wasn't as exciting as it would have been if we could have just taken COVID out of 2020. Yeah. So it's really great. And then our temporaries, which we're gonna go up one more, and it's our what we call like young contemporary, fast fashion contemporary brands like UMG and Etro, and I mean I could go through a whole list. You can see how we go literally all the way to the wall and then build a wall in front of it all the way to that side. So I would say, somebody asked a question about young contemporary. So we call it young contemporary just because, you know, fast fashion just isn't a marketable term. You know, nowadays it's kind of like you don't want to say, oh, you're a moderate to better store, meaning like your price point, you don't sell anything in your out of your business for over $100. That's like, what does that achieve? Nothing. I think consumers nowadays prioritize how they spend their money, and fast fashion has helped a lot with that. I know that you have the sustainability issue, and there's so many things that fall under it, but some of the brands that are putting out product that is lower price point are actually very environmentally friendly and are sustainable. So some of their product just isn't like as inexpensive as, let's say, brands. What are some of the ones that have just recently like gone through bankruptcy? Didn't H&M go through bankruptcy?
H&M went through bankruptcy. So, I know Nasty Gal by Sophia Amoruso.
You have like brands like that aren't here because they're their own entity and retail space. So there's that situation, and then you have the brands that are here, and that, I think that's the difference. Young contemporary is just like, think of like juniors at a department store. That's young contemporary. I would say that it's mass produced, meaning it's like a pre-packed good.
It's like Fashion Nova, Pretty Little Thing,
absolutely.
Boohoo.
Absolutely. So you have that option to, like, you know, pick one dress and you get 6 of them. It's like 2 smalls, 2 medium, 2 larges.
That's what I do.
The brand is responsible for, you know, making those requirements. One thing that I think that we've seen a lot happen in that, like under that umbrella since we brought it to Dallas years ago, is that they really are catering now for all sizes. So, and they've gotten a lot better with like the armholes, because I don't, like within the past, I don't know, I'd say 15 years, that product, the armholes were so tiny. I mean, Americans could not, women could not fit their arms in the armholes. I was one of them, and I'm like, this is a joke. Like, there's no way this is a large. Yeah, and then everything else was like massive, and then the armholes were super tiny. So I feel like that a lot has changed there, and some of that is because some of that product is actually being like put together and made in the United States. So it's a good thing. But like this entire floor is filled with young contemporary, and I would say it's more of a moderate to better price point. And it really is a great, I would say, overall revenue maker for retail stores or retail businesses. They have the ability to do a decent markup on it. And I mean, you're not gonna buy, you know, a dress for $6 and then sell it for, you know, $160 because it'll get returned. But you are able to get a good markup on it. You know, nowadays, Keystone is not, it's a thing of the past. If you've bought anything within the past 2 or 3 months, you probably noticed that 50 cents has been added on, like, you know, I don't know, a Chick-fil-A Coke, like, you know, anything like that, like, it's been added on, and it's because, like, the cost of things are going up a little bit. So this is just a great example of our temp floor. We're gonna head up to 13, and we're gonna stop on 13, and you're gonna kind of see, we have temporaries and permanent showrooms on 13, and I want you to see the concept. So we're gonna go right back through where we came Western earlier. So if you come closer, you can kind of see, I know some people at Sunset, they were afraid of heights, but, so we could just stand like right here, but we had to like move things around. So we actually had our entire 14th floor was all women's apparel showrooms, and most of them multi-line showrooms, not corporate showrooms. And so we had to move things around. We moved some of them to 13, some went to 15, and then we took the entire 14th floor and rebuilt it, and it became all Western brands. And you're gonna see it in just a minute. I'm just kind of giving you an idea of how we kind of had to shift. There's sushi, like they serve sushi and beverages during market time. And
It's amazing. I've never seen this city from this point of view.
It's so beautiful.
Or because they like to smoke cigars and they can go outside and other things.
I know. It's so good to see you guys. I know.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you all. Absolutely. And have fun. Enjoy it. Yeah. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Let your head down to some iceberg, you'll be heavy in my mind. Can you get the heck out? I need rest now, got me bummed out. You, baby, and on my empty mind, you sit. I try to keep him loose in the western bay. I worry that I wasted the best of me on your bed. You don't care. See, not trying to be a nuisance. This is urgent. Trying to make sense of the change got me all war in my mind. Gotta let go.
So we're taking a break because our feet hurt, and we've been walking for what feels like hours. We have been walking for hours, literally. So we all like branched out and we got to walk all across the mall and like check out all the stores. So we're supposed to be back on the bus at 3:45 and it's 3:25, so it's almost time for us to go home. Okay, so this is our professor, Mrs. Cupid. She's awesome.
I am.
What do you have to say about the trip today?
It was amazing, as it always is, and we've got a fun group of kids that went with us, and just glad to have them all.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Glad you were with us.
And we're off and back to home.
On the wall, all the way my favorite smile. Still wanna try, still believing. Good days always on the inside.